Everyone, I'm here with our little buddy Tamatoa, the little hermit crab. We're talking about responsible pet keeping. Now, we try to be responsible as much as possible. You know, we at Lou's Pet Shop, we want to educate our customers. And when you purchase a hermit crab, we have our little carrying cases, but ultimately this is not what you should be keeping them in. When you're going on vacation and you see those little souvenir shops with your hermit crabs and they have the little sponge and some funky colored gravel, that's really not the best case scenario. What you really need is a dry substrate there, calcium based, and then we also have the cocoa husk, and they need a contrast of dry and damp setting, and they also need 2 sets of water, one for fresh, one for salt. And I have to tell you guys, we're doing Lou's History Month, and we're going to talk about a family that went on vacation and bought themselves not a hermit crab souvenir, something a little bit bigger. He's so big that we have to take you guys outside to see him. Let's go. Emma, thanks for babysitting Franky.
Oh, of course.
All right, so you guys, we're talking about Franky here. Now, when you rewind about 20 years ago, Lou's was, you know, something a little bit different than it is now. It all started with Franky. Franky flipped the dial for us. We took a phone call in 2008, and a family said, hey, we bought a souvenir, a little baby tortoise in 1990. Now, he was only about the size of a tennis ball when they brought him home. It was 1990. That was before Google, before internet. They took him home and they didn't realize they bought a souvenir, a Sulcata tortoise, the 3rd largest species of tortoise in the world. Eventually, he got way too big for the family. He started ripping holes right through the wall. These arms are designed for digging deep tunnels in the Sahara Desert, in the sand, in the hard-baked, sun-baked earth. Now, it's not practical to own one of these guys in Michigan for everybody. And we didn't intend to keep him. We decided, you know what, let's take him in, let's give him a new home, let's send him down to Florida. Well, over a course of a week or 2 weeks, we fell in love with him, the community fell in love with him, you guys fell in love with him, and look at him now. He is massive, he's a big guy. He's only about 80 pounds, he's gonna get 150. Now in the South, down in Florida, Georgia, these guys are great. These would be a great pet. You could build an indoor enclosure, but not here in Michigan. But he is an amazing creature. If you look at Franky, he's got his little distorted shell. This is tortoise scoliosis. He's got his spine is twisted a little bit on the back here. He's got pyramiding on his shell. This is a condition that was caused by a couple different factors, either diet or environmental, and this happened before we got him. We decided that, you know what, we're gonna give him a good life here. The community loved him. We started putting a camera on his back. Craziest thing, we'll see that in a second. We'll show you up close of his camera pod. He became very famous quickly. He was on the New York Times in 2014. He made it international news with his webcam that we put on his back. We don't do that as much anymore. We need to get back in it, but we'll show you his webcam in a little bit. We decided, you know what? We carry a lot of tortoises, a lot of baby tortoises. We decided against carrying the Sulcata tortoises unless we have a customer that's really committed and they really want to put a lot of love and thought and effort into keeping them. We focus in on the smaller species now, the stuff that stays like, you know, about a football size or smaller. But Franky is, he's just a beautiful species, very gentle. He is educated, wow, just thousands of people through his 20 years here at Lou's, and we're hoping he'll continue for the next 70 plus to go. Hey, this is Franky's camera that we were talking about. This is what we mounted on his back. And still do on occasion. So basically, it's a little piece of technology we built up. It's a piece of phone case mounted to an acrylic backing and with an iPhone, and then we've got a battery backup. This gave him about 6 hours of charge. And basically what we did is we took a casting of his shell with some Bondo. This stuff is what you would use on your car if you got a little fender bender at the collision shop. So we took a little casting of his shell so it would fit on properly. and his little scoliosis shell there, and then a little strap. So we just strap this on him around his belly. Doesn't hurt him at all. And this thing weighs like less than a pound, so it's very light. He doesn't even know it's there. And the reason we kind of slowed down on putting this on Franky is we lost a few iPhones. A couple of these things melted because obviously Franky's a reptile. He needs heat. He went underneath. Before we could catch him, he went underneath the heat light, and then boom, we had a melted iPad. So it was costing us a little bit of money to replace the iPhones every few months. So, but we got to get back on schedule with him. This is what made Franky famous some years ago. Guys, thanks for watching. We're gonna tune in on our next Lou's history here in a couple days. Thanks for watching.